I support myself against the wall. I have a split stance. My feet are a wee bit shorter than shoulder width apart. I grip the floor with the leg that I'm going to use, I'm going to stretch, which is the back one, my right one. I lean my knee forward. I push my knee forward. Common fault, lifting the heel, we don't want that. Keep the heel down, I drive my heel down into the floor. And I'm starting to mobilise my ankle. I'm going to do this for 10 to 15 reps. I'm going to be nice and dynamic with it. And then once I've done my allocated rep range, I'm going to split my stance. Now, as you see, this is just my personal preference. I like to line it up. So I have my heel and my big toe in line with each other. It's just how I like to do it. I sink the knee forward. I feel the ankle starting to mobilise. I don't get a huge amount of this on my calf, which is the muscle at the back of the bottom half of your leg. But I do feel my ankle starting to mobilise more and my range of motion improve. And this is what we're looking for here. We're looking to keep the heel nice and tight on the floor, drive the heel down, and work the knee over toe and mobilise the ankle. I'm going to use the stepper. I'm going to support myself against the wall. So I step up onto the stepper. I get my feet into the correct position. I let my heels drop. I stretch. I come up, and at the top of the peak of the contraction here, I'm trying to just gently turn my heels in towards each other. I'm not over exaggerating this. I don't want my knees to come out. I'm stretching down, feeling the stretch, and I'm coming up into the contraction, driving up onto the ball of my feet. I'm gripping the stepper with my toes. It's one of the reasons why I have these funny shoes on. It helps me improve my foot dexterity, the strength in the feet. So when I'm doing this, I can do anything up to 35 reps. I'm looking to get a nice pump in the calf, which that just means I'm looking for my calves to fill up with blood. I'll get myself to the point where I'll feel I'm starting to fatigue, and then I'm going to do an extra 3 to 10 reps to really make sure that I've got everything out of the set that I want to get from it. As you can see, I've got a nice rhythm going here as well. A nice gentle rhythm. I'm not staying too long in the bottom position of the stretch. I've already warmed up correctly. So this is me into a working set. And I'm working both calves at the same time. Enjoying how it's starting to feel. And getting the blood in there. Once I've completed my set, allocated reps, I'll come off under my own support and safety. And that is a calf raise off the stepper with 2 feet. So, Grant's going to pop his toes up onto the bench. He's going to position his knee at an angle forward. He's going to bring his supporting foot up, and he's going to make sure that he can see his instep and his toes in front of his knee, and knows that he's supporting legs in the right position. To begin with, in order to warm up the joint capsule of the thigh and the hip, the femur bone into the joint of the hip, he's going to do some hip circles. Nice, gentle hip rotations. He's going to go 5 one way and 5 the other. And then he's going to lean in from the hip and back out. Notice how his upper body's perpendicular, straight up and down. He's not leaning forward from the shoulders. He's driving the movement in from his hip, and he's increasing his mobility and flexibility within the area of the front of the thigh and the front of the hip. Grant's lying on his back comfortably. The feet are slightly wider than shoulder width. the toes are facing forward. He's going to take his hands, he's going to place them across his chest. He's going to suck his belly button in, he's going to pull his bum cheeks together, and he's going to extend his hips up into this lovely arch. At the top position, he's going to squeeze by pulling his belly button down and back and pulling his bum cheeks together to create a nice bracing of the core. He's going to slowly come back down to the floor, pause on the floor, extend back up again, creating this lovely bridge that you see, and then back down again. So Grant's positioned himself on the floor, on the mat. He has his fingers spread, his hands are shoulder width apart, his knees are shoulder width apart, and he's balancing up on his toes. His heels are pointing up to the sky. He's going to take one leg, extend it out, tucking the toe underneath, and he's going to raise the opposite elbow up in this nice L shape or a right angle, which allows for activation of the upper back, trapezius and deltoid specifically, the upper back. He's then going to suck his belly button in, suck his belly button up and in, and create that nice contraction and activation throughout his core. He'll come back in with a hand, back in with a leg, opposite side, back out, tuck the toe, lift the arm, suck the belly button in, hold it for a few seconds, and back down. Okay, Grant's going to position himself onto the mat. He spreads his fingers, he drives the palm into the floor. His hands are shoulder width apart. His neck is, or his head's aligned, and he's going to drop down to the mat, full range, and then push back up. He's going to drop down, he's going to push back up. He makes sure that he sucks his belly button in and he squeezes his bum cheeks throughout this movement. So this is the assisted press up. If he wants to regress the movement or make an adaptation slightly, he can come back into a box position and carry on with the exercise and back up. And one more. Okay, the last adaptation, bring the hips forward. Grant's going to lower and he's going to pause on the mat. So he's going to lower his whole body all the way down. He's going to pause and rest on the mat. And then he's going to pop himself back up safely, coming up through the shoulders and then eventually up through the knees. Okay, this is called a turtle rotation. My footprint's as small as possible. Now what I mean by that is I'm nice and tight. My knees are tight together, my elbows tucked in against my knee. I've got my fingertips resting on my lower back, my arms bent behind my back. And I'm going to open up again, thoracic rotations. Working on stretching off the back by rotating open. Driving through the supporting arm and pulling the working elbow back, opening it up towards the ceiling. We're going to work this exercise here for 60 seconds. So again, turtle rotation, exactly the same on the opposite side. I've got my supporting arm tucked in tight against my knee. I've got my arm bent up against my back and my palm is facing up the way. And I'm rotating my shoulders open and my back open. Nice and gentle. Looking to increase my range of motion every time. Just getting a wee bit deeper into the end range. I'm going to start at the kind of standard pull apart, focusing on making sure that my knuckles are or horizontal, not in a retracted position. I'm going to come up, super slow, put the shoulders into retraction, decompression. I'll do an internal and an external rotation. Push the band back, and pushing the band back to the back wall as slowly as possible. I'm going to get that elevation, and then I'm going to come down again. So I'm going to lift the shoulders up into elevation, rotation, decompression, internal, external rotation.
Okay, so squat to stand. Adaptations. I've started to use a bench. What I do is I position my feet in behind the bench, and I come down and I just get onto the bench with my forearms, and I allow my body to sink down into the bottom squat position. And from here, I'm just rocking. I'm just allowing me to keep my weight forward. I want my weight to stay forward. I'm just working into this bottom range squat. Working in the bottom range. Nice deep squat. I'm rocking opening my knees and closing my knees, bringing my knees in, opening them, rocking from side to side. Working on not just like the bottom range of the squat and my hip mobility, but also on my ankle mobility as well. And just be nice and gentle. Fully supported as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back out here. I'm going to keep my arms and my head on the bench. And I'm going to just start to do partial movements. Partial movements until I can get a nice full extension out through the hamstring. And straighten out. Good. And then I can start to just come up a wee bit further. And I can come all the way down. Nice down the bottom. Feel that nice stretch. Ease off that tension. And then up. And we're out. Down. Shoulder blades down and in. Look up. And then back out. Now once we've done that for a few reps, we have a bit of apparatus here that we use to be able to elevate the heel. It's important that you elevate the heel on this exercise. It's a mobilization and activation exercise. When you elevate the heel, it allows for a deeper bottom range of the squat, because elevating the heels takes out any ankle immobility that will prevent the deep squat being achieved. You can use books as long as they're both the same size, or a couple of plates, like weights plates. We have a specific angled ledge here that came with some safety flooring. We've got 4 of them, so that's the ones that we use. Okay, Grant's approached the ledge or the wedge, and he's got his heels high on the wedge. His feet are pointing forward. What he's going to do is he's going to take his hands, he's going to place them on the inside of the thigh, and he's going to allow himself to squat down under support, and he's going to drive the palm of his hands into his toes, where his toes are on his feet. He's going to sink down into the bottom range of the squat as deeply as he can go. He's going to pull his shoulder blades down and in, create that lovely neutral spine as it's called, and he's going to lift his head up. He's then going to tuck his chin underneath. And as he looks down into his toes, he's going to lift up and through his hips. And he's going to allow for the back of his legs to lengthen out and stretch. And he's going to have that nice curve of the upper half of his body. Again, he's going to sink down, slow and controlled, done safely, and then come back out. Excellent. Okay, a common fault. In the bottom range, he's in the bottom range, and he's going to cheat the stretch. because he's going to allow his hands to lift off, keep his fingertips on and back down. This doesn't help you lengthening out your hamstrings, the back of the top half of the thigh. You have to imagine that your hands are glued to your feet or your trainers. Keep that attachment. Make sure it stays that way, and over time you'll allow the bottom half, the back of your body, to lengthen out. This is